There's not a lot that Colorado's legislators all agree on, but this week, the state legislature unanimously passed a bipartisan bill expanding access to DNA testing for people who might be wrongfully convicted. Colorado first passed a law allowing post-conviction DNA testing for incarcerated felons in 2003. But that law only makes DNA testing available for people who are currently incarcerated, and only in conjunction with some other clear evidence that they're innocent. In the 20 years since, 3 people have been exonerated based on that standard. Legislators decided to update the law based on input from the Corey Wise Innocence Project and from people like Robert Dewey, who was exonerated from rape and murder charges after he had already spent 16 years in prison.
I put in for it, and I put in for it, and I put in for it. And back then, the people that were running Grand Junction, they knew they messed up, and so they just kept denying me.
He initially petitioned for DNA testing under the original statute, and he was denied testing under the statute. So it was really only through a unique set of circumstances that he was able to access DNA testing that ultimately did exonerate him and identified the actual perpetrator. And so Mr. Dewey's case to us really demonstrates the need for the change in the statute to reform it and decrease the barriers to accessing testing.
The new bill lowers the standard of proof that people would need to access DNA testing, and it makes that testing accessible to felons on parole and registered sex offenders and people who have already served sentences for felony convictions. The unanimously passed bill now heads to Governor Polis for his signature.